You're watching Rain Knight Gaming.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Rain Knight Gaming. I'm Rain Knight, and in this new Meta Monday Newtype edition, Newtype 3 edition, I've got some decks that you either need to play or know how to play against. So this is going to go over those meta decks that you're most definitely going to see and will most likely be winning some of the tournaments. So it's going to be great to have all the information you need to make decisions on what you want to play and how you play against different builds. I've got 2 subscribers and their meta decks, and they were able to take down their tournaments and bring them to you guys. If you guys win your tournaments, let me know in my Discord. Go in there, drop your deck in there, and maybe you guys can be in the next Meta Watch. Then I've got a highlighted YouTuber for you guys that I think is awesome, and he just won a Newtype challenge, so I'm going to bring his channel to you guys. Then we've got the rest of the meta decks that you guys are going to want to know how to play against, all that stuff. I pulled several different variants of these decks so you guys can kind of see some options, but just know there are all kinds of different builds for these decks. So if you guys have different ideas on how some of these should be built, let me know in the comments down below. Let's have a discussion on what kind of things people need to watch out for or what they should be playing in their decks. First up, we've got Legion, maybe? Sorry, dude. How you say your name? Put it in the comments down below. But he was playing one deck that is really good in the meta right now, and that is Blurple. Blue, purple, aggro, or some people call it more of a mid-range deck because it does go into the 5s and 4s. But I consider it kind of an aggro deck just because you play a lot of weenies and you're just trying to get through that game as quickly as possible. This is a pretty standard build of what you guys could see, and it's standard because it's just good. It's simple, it's effective, and you're going to win games with it if you know how to play it correctly, and obviously, he does. This is one of those decks that's going to be able to tear through lots of different stuff because it has that early low range, it has that ping damage, and it also has some of that free non-combat removal, which can be really, really awesome. Coming back in another week, we've got PinkJediGuy. Yeah, this guy just wins. He does have a YouTube channel, and I'll put a link to the comments in below. Put a link in the descriptions below so you guys can check him out. Yeah, this is one of those ping wing decks. So it's kind of like 2 meta decks in one. It's got just enough early game to really, get you through that early aggression from things. It's really seeing the police Zaku is pretty cool to see in there. It helps him with those early trades, which is really, really cool. And because it can't attack in on the opponent, it gets that extra HP. So that's going to let you trade with gems and a lot of other things really easily and just be able to get a lot of value out of that early stuff. Then, you've got your Goof, whatever you say it, another vanilla that has really good stats, and a little bit of searching from your Zaku too. Then you get into your pre-boss monsters, your 4s, and they're just really good linking material or just general bodies to put in the board in that 4 to get you past that extra hump to get into your 5s, 6s, and 8s. And that's going to be your huge boss monsters that are just going to try to take over the game. And once you get up there, it's really hard for your opponent to keep up with you unless they are also playing one of these late game decks, because you're just coming at them with big things after big things after big things. So like, super good. It holds on long enough to get out the Wing 0. It's got ping damage from your 2 reds, and it's got breach damage from your Wing Gundam. Then you've got non-combat removal, you've got your 6 health bases, and your pilots. Really, really solid deck. Thank you to my subscribers, and I'll tell you, they have been killing it out there. I don't know if it's because I'm amazing at telling them how to do things or they're better than me. Probably they're better than me. But I'm trying to learn from their successes, and hopefully you guys can too. Let's jump into another guy you can learn from, and that is RussTCG. Yeah, this guy is awesome. If you look at his channel, he's won a lot of stuff, and he finally did get a Newtype challenge win. And if you watch his last couple videos, I will say he goes over his matches really well, describing how he played his matches and kind of his theories on why he's doing certain things, why he thinks certain decks should do stuff, and he does a great job. Just, really good, awesome gameplay footage and narration and all that jazz. So head over there, check him out, like, subscribe, and tell him Rain Knight sent you. Jumping into our meta decks that you need to watch out for. First up, 1 Year War. I will say, I haven't been seeing it as much lately. Really not a lot in my area, but it still is up there. I mean, obviously they got second in Nationals and EU recently, so yes, it is still very good. And it's just one of those decks that's so low to the ground, it's just oppressive, just trying to get through that game really, really fast. This is one of those decks that does play your Galgoog, and that's a way to cheat back out your Char from the graveyard, and just plays all of the early game to get you through that game and win it as quickly as possible. Slightly different variant here. You're just playing basically the same stuff, but a couple little bit different things. You're not playing the Searchers, you're playing a few more bases, and it's 1 Year War. I tried to find a bunch of different builds for this, but they're pretty much the same minus a couple cards here and there. A lot of it comes down to how many bases they're playing and if they're playing Char's Galgoog. That's kind of the big differences between those. Jumping into our ping decks. There are tons of different ping decks out there nowadays, so I'm just going to show you a couple that I personally find like a pain in the butt to play against. First one, Blocker Ping. This is one of those decks that, it just slows you down so they can get into their late game ping stuff, get to their cash, get to their Sinaju, gets up back into their queue, and of course they have all these late game, early game blockers, mid game blockers. It's terrifying. Just so hard to play against because of all the non-combat removal, plus all of their blockers have really big booties. So you trade into those blockers and then they ping you down for the rest, getting free kills. It's just a nightmare. And luckily they also have a 6 health base, so hey, heck with me. More 6 health bases for everybody. Opposite side of that version of a ping deck is the aggro ping deck. And this is the build that won the Florida regionals, so you guys know it's a good deck. This was new on the scene and you'll see it a lot. It is definitely all over the place. People are playing this. They're not screwing around with the build too much, but you will see some slight different variants here and there, but they are going to all play a bunch of early game stuff, a little bit of support, good solid ping damage, and stuff that can attack directly to unsuspended units, which really screws people over. They're playing buffing bases, and they're playing, of course, the Tall Goose base. So really awesome ping deck there. Getting into the elephant in the room, kind of. It's been the deck that has been really good since beta, and that is Blocker Wing, or B-Wing, however you want to say it. Pain in the butt wing. And there are lots of different variants of how many blockers people play in these. Some play a little bit more early game to have some aggression. Others will just simply load up all the blockers and just wait till they get to wing 0 and then kerplah, you're dead. So there are lots of different versions. This one is playing a couple cool things I wanted to point out. They're playing some slightly different bases. They're not playing the 6 health desert base. They're playing the one I call the popper base because it pops things back to your hand, and the anti-breaching base because this does not take breach damage or effect damage, but that's what it is. So this thing is all about surviving. They're playing Sword Gundam to help make the game go longer. They're playing Ale to help it go longer. They're playing Freedom because Freedom's gnarly. And then they're playing their bases and Unforeseen Incident. Just a bunch of stuff to just make that game go long. So then when they get up to their wing 0s and wing, they just can take that game over with value. Another version of the same kind of deck is the Blocker Breach variant. This one plays a lot of blockers, obviously, but they also mix in the Breach Shenlong. This is going to let them have decent trades against other blocker decks because of the next deck that we're about to look at. It needs to be able to get through that stuff as well. This one does play the 6 health base, so it only plays 4 bases instead of a little bit more like you might see in other ones. But really, this deck doesn't need as many bases because it plays, let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 cards. Wait, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 cards that give them blocking. That's crazy. So this is another one of those variants you're going to see a lot of. But yes, you can see more aggressive versions. And I didn't put any up here, but there are blue-green versions out there. They're just more aggressive versions of Wing, basically. So watch out for that. Getting into our last 2 decks, these are both going to be blue-white, but very different on how they want to win the game. This is the blue-white, you could call it like Academy, but basically what this is trying to do is outvalue your opponent, out-resource your opponent. You've got all your blockers, you've got Amuro, which is going to help you do your value trades, and then you get into your rebuild, which is going to let you recycle those command cards like your Show of Resolve, different things like that, so you can just keep on drawing cards, drawing cards, drawing cards. And if you're just having a massive hand all the time and you can just throw cards down, you're going to outlast a lot of the decks out there because they can only drop so many wing zeros on you, and rush decks just run out of cards. So this is one of those things that is just super hard to play against, and they play a crap ton of blockers as well, including the new rebuild, which is pretty cool because it gives them high maneuver and gives them blocker. Last deck on the list, but maybe the best deck on the list. I have been seeing Epyon win a lot of tournaments. It won EU, it's won a bunch of new types, it's won a bunch of things. So yeah, this is one you really need to watch out for. But you'll notice, this is very similar to Blocker Wing. It's kind of the same strategy, except they're not trying to blow up your board with their Wing Zero. They're getting out their Epyons, and they're getting lots of draws from the marquees, so they just outlast you, outvalue you, and then just run you over at the end. It's one of those decks that you think you're doing real good, and then you lose. This is one I did lose versus in my new type challenge. It's a super good deck, and it's one of those ones that you can get them like I did. I got him on 0 shields, and he was able to put down a base, and he just started getting too many bases for him, too many blockers for me, and I couldn't get through it. And then he just kept on building his board, building his board, building his board, and just, eventually took over the game in that late game. And this one is also really good against Wing because they've got that freedom, their Epyon, that's not going to be affected by that Wing Zero blow up. Plus, they've got a lot of units with 4 HP, which is going to survive that initial blow up. You've got Lithith, you've got Grandpa, you've got Launcher, Perfect, Ale, all ones that do get hit by it, but because they have 4 HP, they're going to survive it. Okay guys, that's going to be it for me today. Hopefully you guys like these videos. Hopefully you go down, like, subscribe. Let me know what meta decks I missed. What ones you think should be on there. I always love hearing from you guys, even if I don't agree with you. I always love hearing from you, and maybe I'm wrong about something, so I can learn a little bit as well. Don't forget, you guys can become members of the channel. Go down there, become members, 99 cents a month, helps me out. I'm also going to get a Patreon here shortly, so look for that if you would also like to help support the channel. Okay guys, I'll see you guys next time. Hopefully you learned something from this video, because you know what I always say, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. And I'll see you in the next one. See ya.